Okay, David, where are you?
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Governor Murphy, distinguished guests, and members of the West Windsor-Plainsboro Regional School District community. On behalf of the West Windsor-Plainsboro Board of Education and our school community, it's my privilege to welcome Governor Murphy and his team to Maurice Hawk Elementary School today. My name is Dave Adderhold. I'm the proud superintendent of the West Windsor-Plainsboro Regional School District. And today, along with Principal Sarah Bright, we had the wonderful opportunity to visit several kindergarten classrooms, both our general classroom, a traditional classroom, as well as our dual language immersion Mandarin program. Beginning in the 23-24 school year, the district transitioned to a full-day kindergarten program, and that was for all of our kindergarten learners. While our half-day program had been successful, there is no doubt that we have witnessed tremendous academic and social benefit to our learners. The request to move to full-day kindergarten had been a long-standing request of district families. Over the past decade, with numerous facilities projects, including the recent completion of a facilities referendum, we were able to add classroom space to 8 of our 10 schools. And we were able to do that with enough classroom bathrooms so that we could accommodate the estimated number of kindergarten students. Since implementing full-day kindergarten, our administrators, teachers, staff members, and most importantly, our parents and caregivers have seen tremendous benefits to our learners. They've seen improved academic achievement as well as stronger social and emotional skills, improved language development, and increased exposure to a wide range of subjects. A year later, we've seen decreased need for intervention referrals in first grade to exposure of pre-literacy and numeracy skills in kindergarten. The benefits to families are also noteworthy, as prior programs set families on inequitable footings. Families that could afford full-day kindergarten extension opportunities enrolled their children in either a district or a private provider program. Essentially, inequalities in learning opportunities began in kindergarten. Removing this barrier and increasing access for all students has lifted the achievement levels for all of our students. The implementation of a full-day kindergarten program has provided our students with additional instructional time, purposeful play, both structured and unstructured, the opportunity to participate in learning centers, additional opportunities for recess, and special area classes such as art, music, and PE. We are proud of our educators who have dedicated a tremendous amount of time in both curriculum development as well as professional development throughout this transition. And they also champion the benefits of moving to a full-day kindergarten program. As a district, we have much to be proud of, but the move to full-day K is one of the brightest spots and one of the brightest accomplishments in recent years. Governor Murphy, we thank you for your ongoing support of public education and appreciate your continued vision of supporting New Jersey students and school districts. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is David Drybelvis, and I'm a parent, and I have kids in this school. So, good morning. It's a pleasure, it's an honor, and a privilege to be here as we discuss one of the most important topics of our time, putting our children in a position of strength as they grow into themselves and the world. My family is fortunate to live in Plainsboro, New Jersey, a town whose foundation was built on farming and education, even before the establishment of the West Windsor-Plainsboro Regional School District. Plainsboro Township leaders make it a priority to ensure that people from all socioeconomic backgrounds have a place in our community. But until last year, there was one unmet need: full-day kindergarten. Both of our children are part of the Mandarin dual language immersion program here at Maurice Hawk. Our older daughter attended the half-day program, and our younger, the full-day. The clear and positive impact of full-day kindergarten is easy to see. For us parents, a consistent and reliable routine makes the hardest job in the world a little more manageable, enabling more consistency while balancing the demands of modern life. For teachers, more time with students builds stronger connections and helps achieve learning goals, smoothing the transition to first grade. For our children and students, additional time in the classroom allows for more practice with learning concepts, one-on-one time with teachers, and the chance to experience special classes and unstructured play, all of which provide a critical foundation for a lifetime of success. Seen in our own daughter, who excelled in reading, bonded with teachers in both Mandarin and English, experienced specials, and spent more unstructured time with her peers. Full-day kindergarten at Maurice Hawk Elementary School has been a blessing for our family and community. It helped our younger daughter thrive in tangible ways and provided her with the strongest academic, social, and emotional learning experience possible. I look forward to the day when all children in New Jersey benefit from full-day kindergarten. With that, I'm pleased to introduce the Governor of the great state of New Jersey, Governor Phil Murphy.
Well done. Dave, thank you for that. More on you in a moment. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, class. Before we get to the topic of the day, I would just implore everybody to stay warm over the next couple of or 3 days. This is a brutal cold spell we have here. We've activated code blue in all 21 counties, including right here in Mercer County. NJ211.org if you need to find a warming location. It is incredibly wonderful to be here at Maurice Hawk Elementary School. Before I thank some folks, I did a little homework on Maurice Hawk. What an extraordinary public servant. I think he was on the Board of Education for several decades. He was township treasurer for another several decades. Pretty impressive guy. I want to thank, beginning with the Superintendent, Dave Adderhold, and I want to thank you, Dave, and all your colleagues for the warm welcome. Especially I do what the principal tells me to do when I'm in a school, Sarah Bright, and your staff, the educators, members of the Board of Education, and most importantly, the precious students here. I can think of no better place for us to come together today in reaffirming our shared commitment to making free full-day pre-K as well as free full-day kindergarten a reality in every community in New Jersey. This is a vitally important investment that will not only improve educational outcomes for our state's students, it will also lower costs for every parent with young children. And we just had an opportunity to hear from one of those parents, so I want to thank David Drybelbis for his testimonial, if you will, and deep thanks for your very gracious words, and thank you for sharing your family's story with us. There are many leaders here today, too many to acknowledge each and every one of them, but at minimum I want to make sure I acknowledge some of the folks you're going to hear from and or who are running this effort. New Jersey's, I've lost Kevin. Where's Kevin? Oh, you're right in front of me. Okay, I apologize. New Jersey's acting commissioner of the Department of Education, Kevin Damer. Kevin, great to have you with us. And a few of our legislative partners who are without whom we wouldn't be here today, beginning with this woman, the Senate Majority Leader, Senator Teresa Ruiz. Always an honor to be with you. And we will hear from a couple of her colleagues from the Assembly, Andrea Katz and Sterling Stanley. Thank you both for being here. And to all the elected officials, Senator, Assemblyman, Commissioner, Executive, Clerk, to the whole lineup, and to both mayors who are with us today. Thank you, gentlemen, for both being here today. This morning, so we've gathered this morning at a school that stands, I think, as a sterling testament to the importance of expanding access to early childhood education. And that is because just last year, as you've heard, Maurice Hawk Elementary took a major step toward cultivating the potential of every child in this district as they began offering free full-day kindergarten to every family in this community. And the benefits have been both immediate and vast. In fact, as Dr. Adderhold told me in the hall, along with the principal, Sarah Bright, that in just 1 year, that all of the professionals have already noticed improved literacy rates among the district's youngest students. And they've observed a significant reduction in the achievement gap as measured as to how those students perform when they get to first grade after having been in full day K. And that's exactly what it means, we think, to build a stronger and fairer public education system in New Jersey, which I might add is home already to the very best public education system in America. Just a few minutes ago, several of us had the opportunity to take a look at 2 kindergarten classrooms. Thank you again, Madam Principal, here in this great school. And let me just tell you, if you want to see what a world-class education looks like, look no further than the classrooms that we just had the honor of visiting. You've got kids who are, I think, probably barely over the threshold of tying their own shoes, yet they're in there speaking both English and Mandarin fluently back and forth, and shaming, I might add, the rest of us. So to your great superintendent and principal and to all the educators here at Morris Hawk Elementary, let me say thank you for doing your part to prepare our students to lead the world, not just the nation, and the economies of the future. And this school is really a model of what our administration envisions for all of New Jersey, a state where every student can enjoy a world-class education early in their academic life. In that spirit, just last week, during our State of the State address, I announced that our administration will be taking a new step to ensure that every school district in New Jersey offers free full-day kindergarten. Now, to be sure, in fairness, the vast majority of New Jersey school districts already offer free full-day kindergarten, but there are still some districts that are falling short. So this year we're going to work with the state legislature, thank you folks in advance, bless you all, to close that gap once and for all so that every child of every socioeconomic background has the opportunity to chase their dreams. And to that same point, and as I again mentioned last week, this year our administration will also move forward in making free universal pre-K a reality in the Garden State. Over the past 7 years, we've taken enormous strides toward achieving this goal. And again, to the outstanding legislators with us today and their colleagues, we could not have done it without them. In fact, over the past 7 years, the number of districts that are offering full-day pre-K has increased more than 350%. But we're not done yet. And we will not rest until every school district provides free full-day pre-K to every child in New Jersey. I especially want to thank again Majority Leader Senator Teresa Ruiz, her colleague Senator Shirley Turner, as well as Assembly members Katz, Stanley, and Varelli, who were with us all today, for their leadership in crafting a legislative proposal that will keep New Jersey on track to achieve this goal. With their help, we're going to enact reforms that will ensure that our free universal pre-K program will continue expanding in the years to come. And as I mentioned, this is not just an educational investment, which it is an economic investment as well, because we will save every parent money by offering them a free, safe, and enriching environment to lead their child during the workday, whether it be universal pre-K or full-day K. And the progress we've seen here in West Windsor and Plainsboro is proof that expanding early childhood education is one of the single most important investments we can make as a state. And with the help of everyone here today, from the commissioner and his team to our great partners in the legislature to all of the educators both here at Morris Hawk and beyond, we're going to ensure that New Jersey remains the best place in America to live, work, and raise a family. After all, the young students who we just were hanging with and roaming these halls are the future of this state. And we owe it to them to continue building a public education system that lifts up every single one of New Jersey's children, no matter where their zip code is or their family socioeconomic status. So thank you all for your leadership. It means more than you know, and for your commitment to New Jersey's future. With that, please help me welcome an outstanding leader. We would not be here today without her, the Majority Leader in our Senate, Senator Teresa Ruiz. God bless you.
Good morning, everyone. Governor, in case that if you hear this rumor on the way out, I didn't join the tour this morning because my house is just getting over, some cooties, and I figured let me not bring anything else home in case we're at the height of that with Silver just went back to school. There were 2 students that were not in one of your visits because of, pictures and policy.
Yeah.
So they kept asking someone famous. I said, forget about that, dude. I'm supposed to be in your class too. And they got very excited, and he said, but who's the dude? And I was like, the governor of New Jersey. But I was like, don't worry about him. At least you got a visit from the majority leader. To the superintendent, principal, staff, to my colleagues in the assembly, and to my partner, Senator Shirley Turner, I want to say 17 years ago, I'm going on 17 years in serving in the Senate, serving in the Education Committee with Senator Turner, we dropped a bill for full-day kindergarten, and it was almost catastrophically surprising to me that the state of New Jersey still did not have full-day kindergarten throughout all of our 600-plus school districts. And so consistently what you heard was facilities was an issue. There were always issues. In our schools, in our ed spaces, there are always going to be issues, ones that has to be supported by good policy, by good practice, and financial resources. But today we see that with this administration, we're putting the first step forward in understanding that making an investment in our preschool and kindergarten classrooms is not only academically sound. You heard from a parent. Our calendars in our school systems were once set through the labor market. We have an agrarian calendar that used to match the labor market of way back when. Our school calendar does not match our labor workforce at all. So even when you think about drop-off and pickup, if you're an under-resourced family and you're in a school district that doesn't have wraparound services for after school, I don't know what you do, right? Because at 3 o'clock you have to make a haul and to go pick up your child. And so you're seeing an administration that's recognizing all these spaces with the lens of critical importance, supporting our working family structures and understanding that investment in early education is critical to academic success. But it goes beyond kindergarten. In November, I want to thank NEAR, I don't see them here, and all the advocates and everyone who works in the early childhood space, is that New Jersey has done a phenomenal, specifically under Governor Murphy's leadership in expanding our universal preschool goals. But that's got to be done methodically, it has to be done responsibly, and it has to meet the intent. When the Abbott decision was struck through the courts and forced the state of New Jersey to expand early childhood for SDA districts, it understood that under-resourced families, kids, that even when they get a running start, they're not starting at the starting line, which means they're never going to finish with their counterparts, and the achievement gap continues to persist and grow larger. The best thing that we know is that this state already has demonstrated in growing an infrastructure that we never knew before. When the courts came back and said you have to provide early childhood 3- and 4-year-old programs in these places, the department geared up. You were there, right? The department geared up. We trained staff. We paid for them to go to school. We partnered with private providers, which is so critical in this space to be sure that we don't have an unintended consequence to an infrastructure that during COVID and prior to that with the expansion of preschool was having an unintended consequence of kind of competing for the same child, that there has to be this kind of dual approach when we're growing, and that most importantly we get to the families and the students who need it most. And I hope that we've put forth just a landscape and an infrastructure piece that long after we're gone, that New Jersey will continue to grow in a responsible way. And I want to thank, I'm not calling him acting, I want to thank the Commissioner of the Department of Education. I wish that I would have 3 more years with you. This DOE has significantly changed in the last year, and I am grateful for you for appointing this individual. We are making drives, we're making huge strides, we're creating good policy, we're working together. To the front office team who was on those elaborate phone calls, not all the kinks haven't been worked out, but it's the level of magnitude of how we will see this program grow is in place. I will say that while that is going, I will continue to work that we also have to look at the landscape of infant and toddler care. There are a lot of areas, again, that get impacted. If you're a family that has resources, you pay to send your child to an infant and toddler care. We know that when they're exposed to a high-quality setting that way, it's much different than having an intergenerational household take care of that child that perhaps doesn't speak English as their first language. And so we've got to look at this really long-term approach. New Jersey has been here before. We've done it and started it from scratch. If you haven't seen my op-ed, I am calling for a Department of Early Childhood, because if we put all these pieces together under one umbrella, we pay more significant attention to it, we have a greater kind of interconnected responsibility from all the departments that oversee early childhood, DCA, DEP, DOE, DHS, DCF, all of them, right? And probably including even the governor's office, from someone who's opening an institution to a parent who's looking for an equitable setting. The numbers are clear. For every dollar that you put in an early childhood setting, the investment back on the ROI is anywhere from $9 to $13. The governor worked on Wall Street. He knows that I don't think there is in one stock that you could put $1 in today that will guarantee you a $13 on the return on its investment. And it's making investment in human capital, which is what government is intended to do. Figure out where the gaps are, where we need to create those bridges, really have a common sense approach, be honest about who we are in our different communities, and recognize that facilities is in critical need when we talk about growing all these spaces. The last time we went out to bond for school construction was the year that I was elected into office. It's time for us to go back out there and make sure that our school facilities throughout the entire state look exactly like this one. HVAC, I'm assuming, in here, right? Air conditioning, heat, all of it, and space to grow, because you have a beautiful campus. But in places like Newark, where we are landlocked and have buildings that were built before Abraham Lincoln took office, it's time for New Jersey to step up in those spaces. And so I only share this to say that while we talk about this great good, there are still other variables that have to be interconnected to be sure that ultimately the success of the child is that they become a great New Jersey taxpayer. And that's what everybody wants. Give them an opportunity to explore, not that they're not going to have obstacles and challenges in their life, but that at least we fundamentally gave them an equitable start so that they can take off running the same way that their counterparts can. A lot of times we echo that New Jersey is #1 in the country. I want to say that New Jersey will be #1 for closing the achievement gap. And when that day is done, then I can fully retire. So congratulations and thank you for your partnership.
I love that. I was taking note. We had some people recording that. The best investments in America right now, it's either preschool investment, as the senator said, or apparently a Trump Bitcoin. So we'll one of those two. I want to echo your comments, Teresa, about Kevin. And it's kind of interesting that this is day one of our last 365. So we're going to keep sprinting like heck. And we have a lot of balls in the air, and we're committed to running through the tape and getting as many of them into cement as possible. Thank you again, Senator. Speaking on behalf of the Senate and as a passionate education advocate, as well as her colleague, Senator Shirley Turner, who's here. I'm going to bring up two members real quick on the Assembly side to speak on their behalf. First up, please help me welcome from the 8th Legislative District, Assemblywoman, another great leader, Andrea Katz. Well done.
Thank you. I'd like to thank my colleagues, Governor Murphy, Assemblyman Stanley, and Senator Ruiz. I don't know, working on this great issue, I don't know if I've ever told you the story, but I went to, you spoke in a Women's Political Caucus event very early on when I started getting involved in politics. And you referred to all the kids in Newark as your kids. And you said, I don't have any kids of my own yet, but all of the kids in Newark are my kids to take care of. And I was like, I want to work with that lady on some stuff. And now here we are today getting to work together on this bill, and it's a huge honor. This is the issue that brought me into the political arena. I wanted to make sure that every child in the state of New Jersey had access to a really great public education. Whatever their zip code, whatever their family status was, they were going to have access to that education. We know that it helps kids succeed when they're able to start in pre-K, and it makes a huge difference throughout their lives. It's also something that gives parents opportunities because they can send their kids to someplace safe and reliable. And isn't that what all of us parents just want? I'm proud to work towards permanent pre-K funding because it makes sense for New Jersey families and taxpayers. My day job, before I was an Assemblywoman, and what I do when I'm not Assemblywomaning, is being a stay-at-home mom. I have had to try and find pre-K, find preschool for my kids, find something that is affordable, that is going to be enriching, that is going to help them learn. And I have seen the impacts because now they're teenagers. I've made it that far. And now I can see the impact that the education that they had very early on, how that has impacted them now. Families can rest assured that pre-K is going to be here to stay, and taxpayers can count on state funding to pay for their share rather than forcing property taxpayers to bear the cost alone. New Jersey is a great place to raise a family, and it's even better because of our great public education system. And it can even be better when we make it more affordable. This policy is going to take us into the direction in both fronts. And maybe it'll even give parents a break a little bit sometimes, maybe go out and get some lunch, maybe go out and spend some time with our friends, because being a parent is really stressful and it's really hard. But making sure that our kids have the right opportunity, we have a safe place to send them, it's what we all want. And we're going to make this more affordable for the people in New Jersey. So thank you so much to my colleagues for this important work. I'm excited to get this across the finish line.
Thank you, Andrea. Great job. I love that. Thank you, Andrea. And again, you and Sterling are leading this and speaking as well on behalf of Anthony Varelli, who's with us today. Another great leader from the 18th Legislative District, Assemblyman Sterling Stanley. Good morning, buddy. Thank you. Good job.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. First of all, thank you for having us here. Thank you for opening the doors here for us. Beautiful facility. I love the tour we had. Beautiful kids. One thing I always thought about, when I was running was education, health. And one thing about education is a road to success starts with a good education, right? And we're better than to invest in the foundation of the education, which is preschool and kindergarten. And I can tell you from firsthand experience, my 3 kids, they went to preschool at East Brunswick High School. They used to have a preschool program which you had to apply, and it's a lottery system. And all 3 of them got in. And to see the difference that they had going into kindergarten with that step up that they had in preschool, they were far ahead of all the other kids that walked in. So I understand exactly what it means to have a full-time, full-day kindergarten as well as a full-time preschool. And this is one investment that I'm willing to put every dollar into, because it is about our children, our children's future, and the success of their lives. And as Governor Murphy, you have led the way from the time when we first met, when you were running. We talked about education, and you spoke about no kid being left behind, no child being left behind. Every child should have an equal opportunity to have an education. And just to hear Senator Ruiz and and also the experience that you've told about Senator Turner as well. I mean, you have 2 great Senate leaders who are here fighting for the rights of every child. And I can't be more blessed to know that, hey, I'm actually part of a bill that's going to help, bring about changes within the state of New Jersey, changes that are going to be positive, changes that are going to help, build the foundation of a new generation of kids. Because I want to leave you with a small story. Our kids are very smart, and these children nowadays are far more advanced than any of previous generations. I have a 5-year-old nephew who's already a computer hacker. He's already hacked into his parents' all his cell phones, accounts. Now they have to have a 2-factor authentication just to make sure that he doesn't get into their accounts to buy stuff. And David, I hear your story. Your story is shared with every other parent in New Jersey. Even when I had my own children, to come home in the middle of the afternoon on a half day on a kindergarten to make sure you're there to pick up your child, and at 3 o'clock or whatever the time may be, it is, your story is all of our stories. And I've experienced it, I've lived it, and this is going to help parents, especially with the fact that if it's a full-day kindergarten, full-day preschool, it's going to help us, because majority of New Jerseyans are 2-family income. Both the mother and the father, they're working. And it's like Senator mentioned about catching up with the labor force in the school. We got to figure out ways to do that too. So, I'm so happy to be on this, and I'm looking forward to the day this bill gets signed and we make this uniform throughout the state of New Jersey. Thank you.
Well done. Love that. Sterling, thank you. I don't think I was prepared. I didn't have on my list that we'd be talking about 5-year-old hackers this morning, but that's pretty darn impressive. As they say in Hollywood, that's all she wrote. I want to thank the great superintendent, principal, educators, staff, board here in this great district, to both of the great mayors. Thank you both for being here today. It means a lot. On behalf of our legislative colleagues and our murderer's row of elected officials, deep, deep thanks for everything. Let's get this done. Let's keep sprinting and have the focus that we've had remain intense on our littlest learners. Thank you all. Thank you, Sarah.